in my opinion, I think that if you are considering getting on YouTube, your best bet is to be working with these guys for sure, because they just make your life so much easier and make you more money. I'd say like the best way I can describe the service is that it's under promise and over deliver. You know, without YouTube, you know, we wouldn't be hitting the numbers that we are currently. TikTok leads compared to YouTube leads, like YouTube is well more nurtured than somebody that's coming in through TikTok or short form. Don't let that go over your head. Take the leap, honestly. You're not gonna regret it.
Okay, so today we got a little client success interview going on. We got Cam O here.
What's going on,
the last
guys?
9 months, gone about from 1,000 YouTube subscribers to now closing in on 15.
Yeah, we just passed 15. We're at like 15.1 or 1.2, around there. Just
yeah,
over
so
15.
less than 1,000 subscribers just around 9 or 10 months ago. Now closing in on 15,000 YouTube subscribers, and just want to break down, you know, our workflow, Cam's experience working with us, and ultimately why you need to get on YouTube, and specifically if you're going to do YouTube, why you need to work with us. So first thing I'll ask is, when we first started talking, you already had a big following on TikTok. You still do. You're going live practically like every week, and Instagram was starting to pop off as well. Mm-hmm. So what made you pull the trigger on YouTube to begin with, and why did you see value in it as a service?
You know, just being online and, you know, talking with other people within this industry of just like selling info essentially. You know, they always say like YouTube has the best leads, and, you know, I obviously trusted those individuals that said that. And I knew I always wanted to get onto YouTube, but there was a specific way that I wanted to do it where I felt like you guys were just able to execute on that, and I just could not do that on my own. And as far as the, you know, filming, you know, the editing, that's probably, you know, the biggest thing. And then I think just like having the scripting was just like a cherry on top, just because like you're really good at like, you know, communicating info to, you know, individuals that might be interested in it.
When you first started thinking about getting on YouTube, like what stopped you from like going and posting a video yourself? Because I feel like you had a lot of opportunities to do so. Like what was stopping you from going and do it yourself? You kind of answered it already. Was it mainly just the operational?
Yeah, just like how much time it was gonna take in order to do it on my own, as far as, you know, the learning curve of just stuff with the camera, the learning curve with, you know, editing, just all of that stuff. I run a wholesale business, you know, I teach people how to do it. I run a call center out in Egypt. Learning how to do all of that just wasn't really didn't make the most sense, honestly.
For people that actually do what they teach, it's like
it's a little bit harder. Yeah, exactly.
Talk a little bit about, you know, you said that you heard from a lot of industry leaders that YouTube was the best source of some of the better quality leads. Obviously, you're pushing a lot of lead flow from Instagram, from TikTok, from YouTube now as well. Mm-hmm. Like, can you talk into the quality of those leads that you're getting from YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of makes sense on why YouTube leads would be a higher quality, just because they're watching a lot more of you. I forget who said it. I know you even said it before, like, you know, some people need to consume at least like 7 hours of your content in order to actually, you know, even consider, you know, joining your program, whatever the case may be, whatever it is that you have to offer. So I think just like having, you know, YouTube videos that are 10 minutes long, 15 minutes long, shit, upwards of 3 hours long, I think it just fast tracks that process. And I just think that there's so much more trust to be built, rather than, you know, somebody that's scrolling on TikTok and just so happens to like come across your content at 1 a.m., you know, just doom scrolling in their bed and whatnot. So I think it's just like what comes with the people that are going onto YouTube in the first place, and what kind of information that they're looking to get, and like how specific content can, you know, offer them that. And then obviously if you have like a CTA or something along those lines, like they're gonna pull the trigger and like book a call just because that trust is built.
For sure. Yeah, and something that Presley focuses on too is just making sure that the videos are essentially structured as like viral VSL. So I think that's the way to, you know, best way to go and articulate it. But I'll let you share a little bit more about that specifically, as far as like how you know, think about going and taking traffic and then pushing it to, you know, taking action.
For sure. So Cam is in a really unique position because, you know, with the Instagram audience he has, that gives us a big lever as well. With Cam's videos, a lot of the views actually did come from YouTube itself, from SEO, search, and browse. Actually, not too much of the views and traction from his YouTube was of a result of his Instagram, but it's nice to be able to add fuel to the fire. Something we actually did with one of his first videos is we scripted a video that pushed traffic to that YouTube video with a ManyChat CTA, and all those people, that reel ended up going absolutely crazy. That got like 300, 400K views on TikTok, 300K on Instagram.
Yeah, and he
that pushed
scripted
a
that
ton of
all out.
traffic.
He scripted out the little reel for me as well, so that was a nice cherry on top too. And yeah, that pushed a ton of traffic to that video.
Yeah, so that's like one of the things we can do as well with some clients like Cam that, you know, have really good camera presence, is like finding ways to tap into, you know, Instagram for like a video or two just to as a lead magnet to push people to YouTube, because a lot of people think, oh, I need a lead magnet, but like the YouTube video is the lead magnet if you structure it the right way.
Yeah.
You know, and something we do for Cam is you know, not only making sure that the videos are actually scripted in his voice and sound native to him, but also go and like convert people to the inner circle and, you know, drive leads and opt-ins, whatnot. In fact, that contract video that we did, you know, there's like 400 opt-ins from that one video, which is crazy. 3,400 leads. Like some people aren't even getting that in a single month. That's from one YouTube video.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like there's so much low-hanging fruit, even just in keywords, right? YouTube's the second largest search engine behind Google. And so with that, you have a certain amount of keyword volume coming in every month of people, in Cam's case, looking on how to do wholesale real estate videos, and or, you know, wholesale real estate this or wholesale real estate that. And if you know how to go and rank videos for the top of search, so that keyword volume is just getting funneled to your video, that's just traffic coming in every month. That's very high intent that could potentially be ready to buy relatively soon.
Yeah, to piggyback off of kind of what you're saying, it's like what you guys have to offer, it's more than just, you know, recording a video and editing it and, you know, scripting it out. It's the actual research that they put into like learning what craft it is that I do, and knowing like what people are looking for, so you know and they know what kind of videos you need to be putting out there on YouTube that is going to get that traction, that is also going to like produce or you know, offer value to people that are out there, because they're searching and they're the ones that are researching specific topics on wholesale real estate, for me, for example. So it's not even just editing YouTube or editing and, you know, all that stuff that is like the front facing of it. It's like so much more that it's kind of like behind the scenes. I'd say like the best way I can describe the service is that it's under promise and over deliver. You know, I see a lot of people in, you know, the online money space in general just over promising and under delivering on a regular basis, and I think these were the first two guys that I actually saw under promise and over deliver, which was, you know, fantastic. And that's why I've been here for like 9 months.
Really appreciate that. And to that point, what was your expectation as far as like YouTube as a traffic source, but also just like YouTube growth when you signed on with us? And, you know, were you shocked or surprised when you saw the results after the 3rd month, 6th month, 9 months? Because like it really took like a little bit of time to compound, but when it kicked in, like things really took off, you know?
Oh yeah, it definitely took a little bit for things to compound. But like if you were to look at like the back end metrics on YouTube, you see that it's just like a slow and steady, and then it just kind of starts, you know, picking up speed. But yeah, I feel like you guys set the right expectations at first, to where it's like, you know, these probably aren't going to be popping off right away. They're going to take a little bit of time, and, you know, once it finds the right people, YouTube's going to know who to push this out to. Essentially, that's kind of like what the expectations were. Took a little bit of time, but yeah, once they really started to get a little bit of traction, I feel like it was just a snowball effect from there. And, you know, the first video that we did, you know, it took a little bit to get to like 10K views, and then, you know, a few weeks go by, it's at 20, and now, you know, what are we, like 9 months out, and it's almost at like 80,000 views. So it's continuously growing, you know. This, like, compared to like short form content and long form content, I feel like short form, you know, sticks for a couple of weeks, where YouTube, it's gonna, you know, keep pushing that to people for, I don't know, years maybe, because, you know, I've only been doing it for 9 months, but it hasn't slowed down.
I have some view curves that are like a couple years old and they're still trending.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Yeah. How have you noticed, you know, the revenue that's directly attributed to the videos that we've created for you on YouTube? How have you noticed that change from obviously the beginning at 0 to where you're at now?
I mean, it's our main lead source as of lately. So, you know, without YouTube, you know, we wouldn't be hitting the numbers that we are currently. You know, we wouldn't even be getting quite close, honestly, if I were to, you know, be completely honest. Yeah,
one thing I'll speak on too is the percentage over time is really interesting, right? Because it started as the laggard, like, you know, last on the leaderboard. Obviously, we were just starting, like we didn't have many videos, we weren't pushing that many leads. But now it's like consistently, I feel like every month when I go into Hyros and look at the dashboard, you know, it's like the #1 or #2 leader as far as sales calls and you know, leads. Another thing I also noticed too, you'd be able to speak on this a little bit better, but I'm also noticing an uncanny amount of like PIFs from YouTube compared to other lead sources, which tend to be split into 3 or 2 payments as well, which I think is something people really overlook.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, the more cash that you're able to collect, the better it is, obviously. I would say I'm a little bit more on, the marketing side of, my offer. So like in terms of like picking up on those patterns in terms of like the sales numbers and like the closings and whatnot. I don't have like the exact stuff off the top of my head or like in terms of like the patterns to pick up on, but my partner Ethan and, Luke would be able to speak on that for sure.
Fire. Yeah. I mean, we have the highest dashboards. So
Yeah.
you'll be able to
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you guys like, helping us get started with Hyros and all that good stuff. Just made it easier to operate even just outside of YouTube, like knowing where all leads are coming from. Like I wasn't familiar with Hyros was, how to use it, all that good stuff. You definitely helped me out with that. But I guess like another thing that like I really did like, which most people would probably be thrown off on this question, was the rev share part that we had with you guys.
Yeah.
In my eyes, I look at that as like performance based. So it's like as long as like you're doing the good job, like and it pays off, that's where you're going to be getting like most of your compensation from. Whereas like some people will just want like a monthly retainer, but that doesn't really motivate that agency, I guess you want to call it, to like want to make sure that they're continuously getting better. Because if you're tied in, with a rev share, it's like as long as you keep doing a good job, you as well. You get, we're all going to be making more money within this partnership or contract or whatever you want to call it, I guess. So most people would get thrown off and be like, "Yo, like what the fuck? You want a percentage of my business?" I looked at it as like, okay, you want to, be compensated based off the results that you're getting me. I mean, it makes sense. You know what I mean? So don't let that go over your head.
Another thing I want you to touch on, you mentioned ideation scripting earlier and how helpful that is to be able to have that like completely done for you end-to-end solution. I think for some people, they might be reluctant to give up that creative control to somebody else because it's like, oh, they don't understand like my industry. Like, can you speak on the scripts and having somebody that understands your tone of voice and like the importance of that?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's not even that like the creativity is getting taken away. If anything, it's two minds coming together to make like the best script. Because obviously like I understand everything that comes with wholesale real estate. He understands everything when it comes to giving information to people and knowing how to structure a video to make it valuable and to make it super comprehensible, which like I feel like sometimes I might have overthought, or how to structure certain scripts or things of that nature. So I think it's just an extra cherry on top for sure, that like you're able to like structure everything that I'm able to give you, and then I can kind of do like the little proofread, send it back to you, you structure it again, and it's just like we're working together to make amazing content essentially. Yeah, but I mean like having you there takes so much load off of my back for sure.
What would you say to somebody that's on the fence of, number one, first question is just getting started with YouTube in general and like not wanting to deal with that slow burn, or just feeling like, oh, it's gonna take time, so like therefore it's not worth it? And number two, somebody that is just reluctant or not sure about whether they want to work with us to begin with?
Number one, if you're debating on whether or not you want to get started with YouTube, I would say you probably haven't done enough like research out there in terms of like where you're gonna get the highest return, I guess you want to say. Because I mean, like at the end of the day, like YouTube leads, they're great, and you're building so much trust within the industry that you're in, that you're trying to help people get into possibly. So I would say like ignorance is bliss. You just don't know what you don't know. Like TikTok leads compared to YouTube leads, like YouTube is obviously like the people that are coming through there are just like well more nurtured than somebody that's coming in through TikTok or a short form. So I would say like do a little bit more digging, or just trust what these guys have to say. But yeah, YouTube is great. I mean, who doesn't want to be making cool YouTube videos? I feel like everybody wants to be on YouTube at the end of the day. If you have a cool craft, you should be on YouTube, because everybody's on YouTube. People are, eating dinner, they're eating breakfast, they're, laying in bed. Everybody's on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's either that or it's like other short form, like little TikTok things. But I think like YouTube is definitely really good. And then people that are on the fence of, working with you guys, I would say, take the leap, honestly. You're not going to regret it, in my opinion. Obviously go with, however you're feeling, but in my opinion, I think that if you are considering getting on YouTube, your best bet is to be working with these guys for sure, because they just make your life so much easier. and making more money.
Fire.
Appreciate that.
These, fire.
Thank you, sir.
Of course. Appreciate you guys.